Good evening, everybody. Good evening, everybody. Can I have your attention, please? Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me at the back of the room? It's lovely to see so many faces here that I recognize. If you can hear me at the back of the room, put your hands up. You can. Welcome. Welcome, everybody. Welcome. So, my name is John Crowley. You probably know that already. But, and I want to welcome you on behalf of the Cool Petaluma team to our first annual Stakeholders Shindig. There will be music later on, don't worry. But I want to start off by introducing you to somebody who, if it wasn't for this person, we would not be here in this room. A lot of things would not have happened this year, a lot of connections, a lot of carbon saved, a lot of emergency prep wouldn't have happened, a lot of community building, a lot of social capital would not have happened. And this is somebody who saw an opportunity a little over a year ago for a grant. And together with a hardworking steering committee, spent a lot of hours putting together the grant application, and we got it. And so what I want to introduce you to now is Delinda Fisher, Councilmember Delinda Fisher. Give her a big warm hand. Thank you.
Thank you. This is actually probably one of the last times that this name tag is actually going to get used. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for everything that you did to participate in this program. I'm really here tonight to introduce all the important people in the room, I guess. But I'm going to start with our Climate Action Commissioners. And I'm going to start with Ann Edminster, who was over here. And there she is now. And she is currently the chair of our commission. And Ann Baker, right over there. And then council members-elect, I understand that John Shribs is in the room. Come on up, John, and we can see what you look like. So he's going to be your new face on the council. Representing District 2. Yeah, he's right, he's there in the hat. And also Sierra Emery from Congressman Jared Huffman's office is apparently here. And who else? Dennis Posake, my colleague on the city council, and former council members Matt McGuire and Jane Hamilton. Right there, there's Matt. I don't know where Jane is. Anyway, thank you all for your service. I'm now going to turn it over to my colleague Andy Schrader, and he is the person in LA who saw the same opportunity I did here in Petaluma. And here you go. Thank you.
Give it up for Delinda Fisher. So, yeah, if I fall and break my leg, it's her fault. So I'm really excited to see how many people are here tonight. My name's Andy Schrader, and Natasha actually asked me to be honest tonight, and if you've been following the news the last couple of months, and you know that I work for one of the LA City Council members, you know, I'll try. So I head up the Cool LA team, and I want to be honest, as I mentioned, Petaluma kicked our ass. And so we're kind of out of the running now, to be honest. And yeah. But the good news is that I was actually inspired to move here by this whole effort. I'm not running for anything, run from office. So, yes. And run from LA City Council as far as you can get, really, right now. So, but here's some more truth. One of the real reasons that I moved here is I'm not gonna be your I'm not gonna be your last climate refugee. The state of the water system in the state of California is really bad. And I know too much about too many things. The way we get water in Los Angeles is from 3 different directions. We get it from the State Water Project, which is the west side of the Sierras. We get it from the east side of the Sierras, from the LA Aqueduct, and we get it from the Colorado River. And usually it's a good system. Usually in a normal year, one area will not get snow, but the other will. So for the last 15 years, we have not been getting snow. And now we're getting snow, but it's melting within like 2 weeks. And so the Colorado River is drying up. The State Water Project has had 0 deliveries to Southern California. And the LA Aqueduct, we have to use all of our extra water to mitigate dust on the Owens Valley. If you ever saw Chinatown, you understand what that's about. So we're running out of water. 23 million people in Southern California are gonna have homes that are stranded assets if we have 2 more years like we've had. Climate refugees are coming. I'm one of the first. So that's the brutal honesty that I wanted to share tonight. I'm here because Petaluma is kicking ass on climate change, because Delinda Fisher put Petaluma on the international stage by banning new gas stations. And I had the Chevron lobbyist in my office shaking in their boots because they did not expect that to happen. They're like, they've thought of everything. They have us so tied up in knots from the state capitol all the way to the LA City Council, but they didn't expect Petaluma to say, you know what, we need to stop putting the drug into the cars. And the minute you stop doing that, then everybody else is like, oh, maybe we should do that too. And they're freaked out. Like, you've got Chevron, Petaluma, Delinda Fisher has Chevron on the ropes. This is the meanest, baddest ass, richest, scariest lobby in the entire world, and Delinda Fisher has them on the ropes. So give it up for Delinda. So I live here because of Delinda Fisher, because I believe Petaluma is getting its shit together on climate like nobody else is. What you do in Petaluma is not gonna stay in Petaluma, it's gonna echo throughout the whole country. The little cities in Iowa are gonna look at Petaluma and say, hey, we're a little farming community. They're gonna see themselves in Petaluma, and they're gonna go do what you're doing. So you guys are blazing the trail that's gonna be spread across the entire country. The work we're doing, neighbor by neighbor, house by house, is gonna spread across the country from right here. If we use fire as a metaphor anymore, this is the spark, and it's gonna spread across the country, but we don't use that here. So I take it back. Anyway, it's my pleasure. Delinda said she was here to announce the important people in the room. It's my pleasure to invite one of the most important people in the room up here, Deb Fox, who is one of the Cool Petaluma program managers. She's the reason that all of you have something to do, and she lured me into the school where her kid is. And so now we're in the school together. And she runs the school too. I don't know what Deb doesn't run, actually. I'm just like, all right, Deb, just tell me what to do, I'll be there. So anyway, give it up for Deb Fox.
Wow, it's great to see you all out here. All right, so let me get my bearings here. Wow. So I get the honor of talking about the successes we've had this past year. So John and I manage the block leaders. How many of you in the room are a block leader? Nice. How many of you are on a team? You got some more? There are some more team members out there. I saw a lot of you standing up. It's super impressive. So, oh, hold on. Technical. Oh, I'm pointing this way. Oh, and Dave, I'm pointing it at you and it's not working. There we go. There we go. Okay, a little more. Bear with me as I get my bearings on this. So, 2022, we trained 163 block leaders. 124 blocks got launched. That means over 700 households are a part of this program. Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Oh. But none of that would have been possible if it wasn't for our community partners. Our community partners last fall called all of their constituents and said, hey, come to this information session. We had 500 people come to information sessions to learn about the Cool Block program. And out of that, we had Cool Block leaders sign up. Some of you came from that program. We went out into the community and we did outreach at big events like Butter and Egg Day to the smaller events like the Petaluma Blacks for Community Development Picnic or Dias de los Muertos to talk about what the program was. So we went out to meet the people where they were and say, hey, we're going to be doing this. Do you want to join us? And that joining us meant coming into this room. If you came in the live trainings, we did 8 trainings and 4 cohorts starting back in January when it was all online. And trained people on how to organize their neighbors, knock on their doors, invite them to be a part of the Cool Block program, and then to go through each of the topics of emergency preparedness, water conservation, energy conservation, and community building. And we did that. Part of the main things of the block leader support is what we did to make sure that they had what they needed to do the program. So every week we met for coffee at our program partner at Grand Central down on the river. If you haven't been there yet, it's a great place to have a cup of coffee. And that's what we did. Every Tuesday we had coffee and block leaders got to talk to us and talk to each other, ask questions, find out what worked, what didn't work. We had happy hours during the pandemic. There were virtual online happy hours so that, same thing, we could still be together to build community. And my favorite part is the one-on-one mentoring, which I call the phone a friend, which many of you have become friends because of how much time we spent supporting each other. And it was through texting and phone calls and running into John at the cafe. And that is how we've built this network of leaders that are supporting their teams on the blocks. Well, I'm technologically challenged here. Here we go. The other part of the program is about getting the resources to the blocks so that they know how to actually know what's available to them, I should say, to implement those educational measures. And my favorite one was the local resource expo that we did at the Lagunitas. That one, it blew all of us away. It blew all the resource providers away. There were so many people at Lagunitas that it was unbelievable success. People walking out with buckets to put in their showers. They learned about daily acts and all the different trainings that they could do with their blocks to mulch and put in gray water systems. And we've done a variety more. We've done field trips up to the Advanced Energy Center. Like, it's all about connecting all of the leaders to the resources so that the actions are truly happening in the classroom. Andy's got me on classroom thinking, in the home. And that goes back to, remember, there's over 700 homes in this program right now. So we have done 3,200 actions related to preparing for emergencies. We've done 2,700 actions related to water conservation and energy conservation and greening the blocks. Totaling 2.1 million pounds of carbon have been saved so far, and that's just today on December 6th. The best part is even more than that is the stories we hear of the blocks being connected to their neighbors. People that had been living next to each other for years and had done no more than wave are now having coffees together on a regular basis. We have blocks that have built community bulletin boards so they can put up their monthly soup exchange. We have streets that are doing at 7 o'clock on a Thursday, doing a passeggiata, which is an Italian thing for going out for a walk after dinner. And they're running into each other as they're going out on their walks because the blocks are connected to each other. We make sure they all get to know each other. Remember, at those coffees that we do every Tuesday, people get to meet each other. We have streets that are learning what it is to have a safe street and learning how to engage with the city about what safe streets are. My favorite one, the Amazon Delivery Day coordination. We have a block that has coordinated the day that Amazon trucks come to their street. It's a Wednesday. We all need to do that one. One day a week Amazon should only be coming to our city. That's my favorite one. But we also have energy retrofits that have been coordinated, water-wise landscape installs that have been coordinated, contractors shared, rebates shared, information, things like that. This is how it gets done, folks. Oh, and I keep wanting to point there, and it's not doing it. And it's still not going there. There we go. And because of all the work that we've been doing, we've been showing up in the press. We've been interviewed by the Chronicle, PBS, ABC News, local radio. We've been in the newspaper. You all read Natasha's article every 2 weeks is in the Argus Courier. It's been really amazing to share the success. Tomorrow, we actually go and win our first award. We have a Community Alliance Award with the American Institute for Architects in San Francisco. We won a Changemaker Award because of the work that we're doing here in Petaluma. So, you know, I read a great quote from Rihanna Frank, who is our climate action manager. And you know, the main thing that I think this thing really speaks to is that the success is contingent upon unified actions. And that is what this program is doing. And so it speaks volumes to the work that we're doing and what we're going to continue to do. And this is where it's my pleasure to introduce to you our campaign manager, who makes this all work in unison, is Natasha Juliana. And she's going to talk about our 2023 program.
Well done. Thank you. Okay. I hope I have better luck. Thank you. Fantastic job, Deb. Look at this room. Oh my gosh, can we just get a round of applause for all of you out there? Because this is really beautiful. This is really, really beautiful. So, I am going off of all those success. We also know that this was a pilot year, and so we had a lot to learn as well. So I'm going to take it down a notch and talk about some of the stuff that worked and didn't work, and then bring us back up again. So going off of what Deb just had there, you might have noticed in that map, which looks fantastic, but anybody notice anything interesting about this map? It's pretty lopsided, right? Very West Side heavy. We also noticed, if you look around the room, there's a similar demographic. So most of our block leaders are over 60 years old, they're homeowners, and they live on the West Side. So that was curious. And as we moved along, we also found one other unfortunate data point, which was of all of our block leaders that we trained, by the end, about half of them would fall off because this program is pretty rigorous. It requires 10 meetings over many months, and it takes a lot of bandwidth. So not everyone can muster that much energy or has the right circumstances on their blocks. So that was something else that we noticed. And so we thought, okay, well, we have all these people who are interested, and I'm surely they can give us some feedback. So, show of hands in the room. Who here has given us feedback over the last year? Sent us an email, been a focus group, been part of a survey, right? A lot of people. We got a lot of feedback. And what we found from the feedback was that there are a few things that were really strong. For example, there's lots of community interest, and beyond the usual suspects. So a lot of people didn't self-identify as activists or hadn't been doing anything for climate action, but they wanted to do something and had a hard time figuring out, what do I do? And so this gave them a great inroad into actually taking action. The other thing we noticed was that it works fantastic in the right conditions, as Deb pointed out in the first half of the show, right? You have the right block with the right leader and the right team members, and it works really, really well. Some of the weaknesses were that it's complicated and time-consuming. So if you have a busy job or small children, it can be hard to find the bandwidth to take on this big of a project. And it wasn't really that adaptable for what we had locally going on. So there's a local resource section, but it's hard to find, it's hard to navigate, and it's not taking full advantage of the amazing local resources we have, many of them in this room. So some solutions, obviously, make it simple and easy to use. No-brainer, right? And really capitalize on local resources. So make it easy for people to connect in with Daily Acts, Advanced Energy Center, the City of Petaluma, all of these great resources that we have that you can use. And then also make it fun for all ages so that we can, distribute the age range a little bit more. So one of the first things we did, obviously, was simplify the topic list. So anybody here who is part of the program knows that there are 8 topics, and they're a little bit confusing. It's a little hard to wrap your head around. Some people started consolidating 6, 7, and 8, or 1 and 2 because they were similar. So we just took a fresh look, and we still start with emergency preparedness. That's really climate adaptation in a way, and also a great inroad for people who might not otherwise on your block be interested in climate action. Everyone's interested in emergencies. And then the other 4 on the new proposed list are things that are the big impact areas of your life, and also things that you can do in your daily life, and hopefully are categories that you understand intuitively. And so if you want to go back and find something, you would maybe know where to look for it. And just to give you a little taste of how we're thinking about it too, since climate change and we're covering so many different topics, we figure the structure needs to be simple. So what we're looking at is for each topic, and this is just an example, but if you are going to prepare for emergencies, help people understand what are the top 3 things you really need to do, so that you can just wrap your head around it. So for prepare for emergencies, you need to secure your home, plan for communication, and prepare to evacuate. And so under that is a whole bunch of other stuff, but at least you can wrap your head around it now. And this is my favorite part. Make it fun. So crafts and games and field trips and parties, and some of the blocks did a fantastic job of doing this and were super creative, but really bringing that to the forefront. How do we bring fun forward? And that will make it more accessible to more people, and that way they all get invited to the table, and they at least have a taste of what's going on. They can dive deeper in, like a lot of you have. As you're doing the bingo, I'm sure you found people who have all kinds of boxes checked off, but not everybody's ready for that. So at least give them a taste so that they're aware of what's going on. And it just makes it fun. So what does this mean for 2023? So as most of you know, we won this thing called the Cool City Challenge, and it's why we're all here, and we have made so much progress in this last year. It's just astronomical, and it really is a dream come true for me. So I'm super grateful to be able to work on this project. This is exactly what I've always wanted to do. My husband can attest, I've spent the last probably 20 years tinkering around with it. So having this opportunity to actually do this on this scale has been amazing. You might think along with that award came $1 million. So you might think we have $1 million in the bank. We do not. So last year when we were going around getting all of your support, this is how the challenge laid out. So there was to be $500,000 for staffing and $500,000 for community project. So we're just kind of I'm just being brutally honest here and just calling out the elephant in the room. This is the money that people have been kind of curious about, how does that come out? Where do we get that? What actually has happened, the Cool City Challenge changed the parameters a little bit because they wanted to give a longer runway so that people had a longer amount of time to get traction. Obviously, we've gotten traction really fast. But so the money is actually separated into 4 years instead of 3. And so instead of $200,000 this year, we got $120,000 this year. So, and it was, they're very precise with how it can be spent. So it can be spent, that money can only be spent on approved staff to run the program on their platform as they have created it. And so the problem with, so I'll just back up for a second here. One of the challenges with this is that, as we just talked about a few slides back, there are some great opportunities to evolve the program, to take all of that feedback that you guys have given us and really incorporate it into this new amazing program, because Petaluma likes to, we're the can-do city, so don't hold us back. When we hear a good idea, we want to do it. The problem is that the funding is tied to doing the program exactly as it is now. So we have talked to the funder, and even though they see us as a wildly successful, we are not going to be moving forward with their funding as of the end of this year, because we're going to have our own opportunities. And we'll show you that in just a sec. But we did get a very nice letter from David Gershon, the CEO of the Empowerment Institute and the creator of the Cool City Challenge. And he says in that letter that he's wrote this to the block leaders and the teams, you all are a shining star in the world of climate action. We are proud to have been able to provide seed funding to kickstart the Cool Petaluma journey. We are also happy you have a way to build out the next stage in a more local way. This makes good sense. So, all right. And so that's what we're going to do. So this is our big reveal of the night. We said we were revealing what we were going to do in 2023. So here we go. So we are creating our own program, and we're well suited to do this. We have the skills and the knowledge. We have an amazing knowledge base in Petaluma. We also have a new platform already started, which is it's a nonprofit, and they do community building, education, exactly what we're doing, already built in, so we can just use that to get started. And not to worry, we also have unlimited access to the coolblock.org platform too. So if you're on that, don't worry, you can still use it. All your data's in there, you can keep going. It's not gonna change anything. So now we'll have 2 boats to float in as we make this transition. And we also already have half the funding to make up for the 2023, the $120,000 that we won't be getting from the Cool City Challenge. So we've already raised from beautiful community members. Locally here, we've raised $60,000. So we've already got the $60,000. We are shooting to raise another $65,000 so that we'll cover the $120,000 that was originally going to salaries and staff, and then also have $5,000 for operating costs, because we didn't have that before. So everything we paid for out of our pockets. Luckily, we have a lot of generous donations, so there's not that much we have to pay for, but we're pretty scrappy that way. But so this is our goal, and we are really, really excited about the new program. It is going to answer those questions that you had and the feedback that you had, and take advantage of all of these opportunities that we've seen over this last year. So that was a lot, I know. Are you still with me? Okay. Great. I think I covered it all. And so now I'm going to bring John Crowley back up here to give us a little wrap up.
Thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Natasha. Big round for Natasha. Thank you. Yay. Natasha, our campaign manager. So I just want to take a moment to reflect on why are we here? And what does it mean, and what is this Cool Petaluma thing that we're all on board? It was actually 29 years to the day that I moved into a little house on Walnut Street. And we were there about 10 days when I got a knock on the door. And it was my neighbor 2 doors down, Helen. This was 1993, she was 92, she had been born in 1901. She had been through the Dust Bowl, she'd been through the Depression, and she knew the power of community. And she knocked at the door, and she had a beautiful angel food cake there. And she gave it to us, said, "Welcome to the neighborhood." And that touched me. And it touched me so much that ever since then, wherever I've lived, I've gone across, anybody's moved into my street, gone across and introduced myself, and if I've made jam that year, they get a pot of jam, and it's that community building, it's that small kind of conversation that builds relationships. And then relationships build community. And the Cool Petaluma program is that and then some. People come out of this program, and yes, we've saved a certain amount of carbon, and yes, we've got our to-go bags ready, but really what people come out of it as super excited about the new relationships that they've made. I hear multiple stories about, for example, Frank, who lived down the road, 3 to 4 hours down the road, and I used to wave to him all the time. Never knew his last name. And through the Cool Petaluma program, now I found out that he's a woodworker, and I'm a woodworker, and now we're in each other's, wood shops and stuff like that. And that's exactly what we're here for. Yes, it's time for taking serious action on climate. We need to. We don't have a choice. Now is the time. We can't wait for a better program. This is the program that is going to change. And as Andy referred to earlier, it's groups of people like us who find a better way of being, and people look at us and they say, I want to do the same. And that's why we're doing this. So thank you so much for being part of this. We're just starting this year, and we've got a lot. I think we have nearly 300 people RSVP'd for today. We're growing. You are the messengers. Let's take this to the next level in 2023. So thank you for being part of this. We have to, and I'm super excited to be part of this. So thank you so much. What next? Oh yeah. And now, okay, we're going to do something a little different because you're going to be all part of this. We do things a little different with Cool Petaluma. You'll notice on the back of your program that we have the songs. They're changed just a little bit. Imagine. We all know it. Matt, am I going to give you the mic? We have Jeffrey here and Matt. And let's all sing this together as something that we do together. All right, Matt, take it away.
Who knows the song? Everybody know it? Yeah. All right, I'll help just get it going.
Group effort. We need you all. I'll come with Benny.
Okay. Everybody ready?
Yeah, ready.
Imagine if snow had
Watch out, we might fall over. Okay. All right, you all. Thank you so much. I hope that you feel the way that we do, inspired and I know, loved and just heartfelt, and I'm really excited about our future together. We want you to continue to mingle and have a good time. If you've been doing the bingo, we will do the drawing. If you put your name, if you win the bingo, if you get the bingo, put your name on a raffle ticket over there in the bucket. At 7 o'clock, we're going to draw names. We have how many prizes?
10 prizes.
10 prizes. So we're going to have 10 winners. Woohoo! And this is not a fundraiser, but should you feel so moved, there is a QR code on your program and throughout the room. You can find one of us. We are taking donations. We are now a 501c3 as an umbrella organization under Office Community Foundation, so it will be tax deductible. And we are really, really excited to have a community-led program, climate action by the community for the community. Any final words, Peter?